Good morning, everyone. Thank you for those that are in this room. It's nice to have a live press conference with some of you, and also for those that are tuned in online. Appreciate your presence here today. Rob Bonta, California Attorney General, and want to talk today about the California Consumer Privacy Act and some updates and some new developments. So many of you know the California Consumer Privacy Act was landmark legislation that created the country's toughest data privacy law. So California doing what we do, having the strongest protections for our people and our consumers in this space. I want to give a special shout out and recognition to two of my colleagues who worked very hard on this issue, Senator Bob Hertzberg and Assemblymember Ed Chow. Thank you for your contributions and your leadership. As we know, the CCPA gives California consumers the right to know what information a business collects on them, the right to tell that business to delete that personal information, and the right to tell a business to stop selling that personal information to third parties. Companies might have access to things like your job history, your sexual orientation, or your political party. And that data is sold and resold from one company to the next, and sometimes used in ways that many of us in California may find compromising or discriminatory. Thanks to the CCPA here in California, you control your personal information. And I encourage every Californian to exercise their rights under the CCPA. These are not self-executing necessarily. You do have the rights, but you also have to act to make sure those rights are being enforced and implemented. And we'll talk more about that shortly. It has been just over a year since the California Department of Justice began enforcing this comprehensive privacy law, and under the law, the department sends notices to cure to businesses with alleged violations of the CCPA. Businesses have 30 days to fix or cure a violation. To date, 75% of businesses that received a notice to cure addressed the alleged CCPA violations within the 30-day window. The remaining 25% are either within their 30-day window or are under an active investigation. I'd like to provide a few quick examples of what we're talking about when we talk about alleged CCPA violations. In one example, users of a social media platform complained that the company was slow to respond to CCPA requests, and those users weren't being notified that their CCPA requests had been received or completed. After receiving our notice to cure, the DOJ's notice to cure, the business walked us through their process and then fixed their procedures so the problem would stop. In another example, an online dating app forced users to accept sharing of their personal information when they signed up for the service. The company didn't have the "do not sell my personal information" link that every company must display if they engage in that practice, and once we contacted the company, it created the link. In another example, a business that manufactures and sells cars failed to notify consumers of the use of personal information that was collected during vehicle test drives at the dealership. After being notified of alleged noncompliance, the business implemented a notice at collection and updated its privacy policy to include required information. And in a final example, a grocery chain required consumers to provide personal information in exchange for participation in its loyalty programs. The company did not provide a notice of financial incentive, as is required, to the participating consumers. After being notified of alleged noncompliance, the company amended its privacy policy to include a notice of financial incentive. So these results, these examples that I just shared are really encouraging. We're seeing that businesses are motivated and able to comply with the law. And my belief is that the vast majority of businesses really want to comply and will comply. They want to know how, and once they know how, they do. And so we're not talking about any gotchas here. We do want the compliance. We do want that outcome. That's how consumers are protected and their privacy is protected. And I want to also announce today that we are launching a new online tool that allows Californians to directly notify businesses of potential violations. The Consumer Privacy Tool allows consumers to directly notify businesses that do not appear to be complying with the CCPA's requirement to post a "do not sell my personal information" link on their homepage. It needs to be clear and easy to find, and that tool is available on our website. We launched it today, so check it out, and please use it. It's there to make sure Californians' privacy is protected. The tool asks guided questions, as you'll see, to walk consumers through the basic elements of the CCPA before generating a notification that the user can then email to the business. This email may trigger the 30-day period for the business to cure their violation of the law, which is a prerequisite of the Attorney General of my office bringing an enforcement action. And we're just getting started. Our team is focused on protecting the privacy rights of children online, in addition to working families, the elderly, those with poor credit, immigrants, and others with greater economic vulnerability who are also particularly at risk when it comes to the collection and use of their personal information. But a final statement I want to make here is that the CCPA is only as good as the people who participate in it. In order to have control over your personal data, you must act. So to that point I was making at the beginning about your rights are there and they exist under the law, but they're not self-executing. You need to act as well. You must ask what information businesses are collecting, and you must opt out if you don't want them collecting that information. Use the do not sell my personal information on companies' home pages as you see fit to protect your personal information. It's never too late to take control of your personal data. Understand your rights under the CCPA. Every Californian is empowered to control their personal information with this law, so let's use it. Let's make sure that today is a day that highlights the rights that we have in California to protect your personal information, that you use the new tool, that you exercise your rights when on websites and online, and that we make sure our privacy is being protected as each of us deem and see fit. So thank you for the opportunity again to be here with you today to give you an update on where we are and where we're headed. Happy to answer any questions you may have as well.